Well, good evening there. This is Elizabeth Diamond, founder of the Diamonds Network, here on Monday, March 7th, 2016, with the Diamonds Forever 31 show. So fasten your seatbelts. We've got a great news, great intel tonight, and very exciting times this year and into the next, and 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 the next. Limitless. But remember, it never ends. Remember, keep your hearts open and pliable, because it's never going to end. We are limitless. That's a big part of what we learn on the Diamonds Network, our real selves, learning who we really are, our supernatural, natural selves, and galactizing with our brothers and sisters, and putting all that intertwined with the highest law of all that we know of, and that's the law of one. So thank you all for coming. Let's see. I want to just let you know I did do a blog on the Diamonds with an S Forever 31.blogspot.com today. By the way, Benjamin Fulford came up about an hour ago, and not all of it is up, but partial is up. But the blog below that, I did some tube chops, and those are all chops you want to get caught up with. Those are all preludes to what's going to go on March 14th show, which is really, 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 I mean, there's really, really, really good surprises in the prelogs. But so imagine what's going to come on the 14th. It's going to be a really, 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 really big stuff. So keep intending that. Keep your hearts in love. Love for everybody. Love going into the matrix. Conquering all with love, the love power. And also, I'm very proud to say that after last week in Candy Shop Show, Diamonds Network has been able to be a facilitator in many things, but in joining other galactic species groups together, and with the alliance of, we are one, and becoming unity and not going against the separation, and being a facilitator in helping with the galactics releasing technology. I'm so excited about that. That is beautiful. And I have more to say about that. I got what I call, a sign and wonder, makes you wonder. I got what I call a fax from heaven. Well, in today's language, we would use it, an upload from heaven today. And I will share that here coming up. But first of all, we have a gal that's, with the Diamonds Network that joins in every week, came in and told us some really good news off the line. You guys are going to be encouraged about this. If you could come in, my dear sister, and speak of that with the emotions you felt when you first found out. Just star 6 and come on in right now. We'll bring that. The room is opened.
Hello there, family.
Oh, and your name?
I'm Lisa, New Orleans.
This is Lisa, New Orleans. Lisa, New Orleans, give us your good news so we can share it with you.
My good news is I was scheduled for foreclosure April 6th. And I did send them the affidavit, and then I also reported them to the OCC for some corrupt dealings and not answering my letter. And then today I got in the mail a letter saying that the cancellation on the foreclosure is set, that they will let me know if it's rescheduled.
So in a nutshell, say that again, Lisa. Your mortgages got canceled. Foreclosures got canceled.
My foreclosure got canceled.
Yay! I'm so happy.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about the process of what you went through during this. I mean, in the aspect of, did you use any paperwork, like the alternative people are putting out to help?
I did. I used the affidavit that Fisher had.
Who's Fisher? Andrew Fisher?
Don't know exactly if that's his name, but the affidavit is listed on, I guess, WC's website. I downloaded the affidavit, and then I had it notarized, and then I sent it in, and they had 21 days to respond, which they did not. And then they set the foreclosure date probably before I sent them the affidavit. They told me it was foreclosed on. And then after the 21 days, I went to the notary and got a non-response notified, and I have to go to the courthouse and file a civil suit against them. But meanwhile, before I went and opened the lawsuit, which I still have to do, I called the OCC, and they took my letter over the phone, which I told them that these were mortgage-backed securities that were sold on the stock market and transferred to Remix, and that I would not be able to get clear title, and that they did not answer my response on my affidavit. And so then I got a letter back from this lawyer called Blank of Rome, and said that I had no standing on my claims. And then today I got 2 letters, one from Select Portfolio and the other one from the lawyer, and said that the foreclosure has been canceled for right now, that they will let me know if anything would come up.
Oh, my God. Beautiful, 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 Lisa. Let's do this, Lisa. Let's do this if you're willing. If you could email me, take pictures or whatever, and email me all of what you have, I can blog this good news to the world to encourage everybody else that are in the same situation. And also, if you could send me that what you sent, that you got off the WC site, send me that, and I will blog that too. How's that?
Okay. Good.
Okay, write my email. Okay. It's eDiamond 1313. That's 1313. BAM. B as in ball, A as in apple, M as in mother at AOL.com.
Okay, I got eDiamond 13.
13.
Mhm.
2 13s and BAM.
Okay.
Like BAM.
Right, gotcha.
At AOL.com.
Okay, and I'm only hoping that this is something that is going to be considered part of the moratoriums on all of the foreclosures, because I really don't think what I did had any effect on them. So I think it has more to do with the moratoriums. Okay,
what is OCC? You went to the OCC. What does that stand for?
It's the Office of Currency Controller.
Okay. And then what, did you pray the law of one or anything regarding in this circumstance?
I sure did. Mhm.
Okay, you did. Okay.
Right. And so I think that we're all going to be saved from this, in my opinion. I think it has nothing to do with any of what I did. I think it's something that to do with the announcements that's coming, and I heard they're supposed to be coming tomorrow.
Well, we're going to check with our Galactics, and somebody brought something in we'll talk about later, so we'll see what we find out from that. But, Lisa, yes, you can make this a precedence, what happened to you, and we'll blog it, and this will be great. So send me everything you can, okay?
Okay, and is Chris coming on tonight?
Chris is going to be here tonight.
Yep, I am.
Hi, Chris.
Hello.
My cat got hit by a car.
Oh, man.
And I'm hurting terribly. She died.
Aww.
And I just want to know if she's, okay. I mean, I'm sure she is, but I don't know if there's anything that you can do to ease that, but I mean, I'm suffering.
Yeah, I can look into the spirit world.
He found my Moses in the spirit world, and Moses had a message for me, so maybe he can find your kitty cat.
Oh, I would love that so much.
Aw.
This has been such a ride. But thank you. Thank you all.
Yeah. Oh, we could do that right now, Chris, if you want.
Actually, why don't we do it at the end, because I don't know what's going to happen tonight, but if we can do that at the very last, then we can do that. Okay.
Okay, Chris, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Great news. Yay!
Thank you.
A little question, Elizabeth. People are asking me why some places your blogs, it says diamonds with a D, and some places it's just without the D. Does it matter?
Huh?
You know, it says, and I've been trying to forward your link that you gave me on Facebook right now, and it says it's an illegal link.
I know, because the little bad guys like to label my blog as a dangerous blog. So get with me and I'll tell you how to send that. You just have to go to the original site, Diamonds. If you want to blog, if you want to put something on your Facebook, just go to the blog and copy the link from the blog and then put it on your page. I guess that's what I've been having to do.
Okay. All right.
All right. Yeah, welcome. Okay, let's do the Law of One really quick, and I'll call him in, and Cynthia, you can do the Law of One.
Okay.
All right. So we just call in the divine flame of living love. We call in all our galactic brothers and sisters that have participated with us in the Diamonds Network energy and that are listening and that are wondering in their heart and they're searching for something and this is the right match for them. We call you in. We call the 360 angels that are assigned to each degree around the earth come in. We call in all of our higher selves, our mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical selves. We call in all of our pets that are alive and that have died to this world. We call them all in. And we call in a spiritual court of equity of all of our ancestors. And we thank you all for coming. We call in all the ones that would participate tonight in the Diamonds Network show, the Galactics, and us humans. Thank you for coming. And we are all one. So take it over, Cynthia.
I'd like to add in the call-in that I'm calling in the superconscious and the subconscious minds of every person. And I'm calling in all intelligences, known or unknown to us, whether they're physical or non-physical. And I'm calling in the quantum field. And I'm asking that all those emotions that determine reality be the highest good of all concerned. And that's what I have in mind as I do the Law of One, because in quantum physics, years and years ago, they absolutely found out that it is emotions that affect the quantum field. The language of the quantum field is emotion. And it changes the past, and I'm going to read a little paragraph or two about an experiment Wheeler did with quantum particles that proved that decisions made affected the past. And we found that out in therapy too. But that's another story. But let us do the Law of One. Now, as we do the Law of One, remember your identity as God. We are all one with God. God is one with us. It's like Christ said, I and the Father are one, and all that I do ye shall do and more. So we are going to experience, as he did, that oneness with the Father.
Okay, so, Cynthia, let me open the room, and then you guys repeat after Cynthia.
Yeah.
When you're ready, let me know.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and open the room.
Okay.
So just, you've had many lifetimes. You've been many things. You'll have many more. Even if you stay in this body young and immortal, I mean, there's so many adventures down the road. And so whatever identity you have this lifetime, just right now expand it into infinity, to actually being divinity. And from that point of view, let's say the law of one. Just repeat after me. We are all one.
We are one.
We are all one.
When one is harmed, all are harmed.
When one is
harmed,
all
are harmed.
When one is helped, all are helped.
When one is helped, all are helped.
All are helped.
Therefore, in the name of who I am,
Therefore,
in the name of who I am,
Yeah.
and I am one with all there is.
And
I am
all there is. All there is.
I ask that only the highest good
I ask that
I ask
only
only
the
the highest
The
good
highest good
of all concerned
for all
of all
of all
concerned
all concerned
happen.
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 And I give thanks that this is done.
And I give
And I give
thanks
thanks
that
that this is done.
this is done.
So be it.
So
be
be
it.
it.
So be it.
So it is.
And so it is.
So it is.
It is.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you.
One second, guys. Well, right. Okay, let me see. I'm unmuted. All right. Great. Now we'll do the law of fun if Lily's here. Star 6, Lily. The law of fun. You get 3 letters. 1, 2, 3. F-U-N. Are you there? Well, she'll be in then. All right, Candy Jar News. Come on in. Candy Jar. Here's the news from the Candy Jar. From the Candy Jar.
Wow, I just thought I was going to be after Cynthia. Oh. Well, gosh, here we are, the Candy Jar News. Let's see. Stock market went up a little bit. The NPR was talking about the instability of the financial market, and people were all nervous about China devaluing their yen, and they did. They cashed in like $1.5 billion because of their financial situation, and that began to make American bankers a little nervous and all. But not to worry, they've got $3 trillion of our dollars, and they're not trying to just dump everything on them out there all at once. And so I hadn't had a chance to listen to Benjamin Fulford today. I'm sure it's going to be great, and maybe Elizabeth can share some of that. I did get a chance to listen to the update on YouTube. It's called The Master Plan, and it says the master plan for the event will not change, and this was put out there in 2013, and they are affirming that as of last week, what they said in 2013 is still apropos, and they explained, they were quoting Cobra and David Wilcox and everyone, and in 2013, and they explained that the event period was actually 50 years long, and that it would start in 1975. And it asked folks to think back who were alive then, like myself, what was going on in 1975. And they said that there was this big burst of energy, and so there was more light, there was more positive songs, poems, writings. People took a spiritual leap. It might not have seemed like it to some in the 70s, but it was really a starting. And I can see that from my WASPy studies and from what I remember. And I think that our dear Cynthia was reading a book last year online and talking about how important 1972 was to get ready, for what's happening now. And so the whole event period, according to this YouTube, called The Master Plan for the Event Will Not Change. And let's see, the name of the channel is called The Event Is Coming Soon. And will be finished by 2025. And they were saying in 2013 that 2016, 17, and 18 was really key, and that first contact would happen during this time period, and it would be initially with the real humanoid of ETs that look so much like us, which is what Christopher has told us. They'll be Pleiadians and Syrians, and it just kind of laid it out there. And I was
and Candy,
confused because some places they say the event will happen in one day, and actually in this video they did. They said the event period is 50 years, but the real event will be one day, just like Cobra has said recently, and Chris. Yes, Elizabeth.
Yeah, I've asked Franco, is there's going to be some kind of time where it's like a light switch is slipped on, and there was light. And also, Franco Di Nicolo, he says, and remember, everybody, we're creating this in our super conscious, our collective conscious that we're not mostly aware of. We're creating all this minute by minute into our world because we create from the inside out. We create from the inside of us, individually and together, and then it comes out to see what our world is. So that's why it's good to love yourself, think of love, think of joy, have emotions of love, joy, and forgiveness and everything. Keep working on that because you're a part of that. But so everything is pliable, so the years are still not set in time. But he did say around, pliability, 2030, 2035, the Earth will look like the Star Wars scene in the bar. So, I'm glad you brought that in, Candy. Anything else?
Right. I mean, it's just, it'll be all smoothed out and it'll be really lovely. We'll be deep into having medicines that heal and all of these wonderful things, and they're going to expose what they were really doing to control us with the vaccines and different things. Well, I continue to meditate, and I feel like I'm going more into this 5D that Chris is talking about. I feel that my telepathy abilities are getting stronger, and those of people around me, that I'm projecting thoughts more clearly and that people are picking up on them. And so I encourage others to notice their experiences as we're going deeper into 5D. And let's see, I'm still planning.
And use the law of one. The law of one sets everything at the highest good of all concerned, even your worries, even your concerns. That's what I do at home. Every time I made a goal, I made a mission. Every time I come up with a worry, a thought that concerns me or kind of rubs me the wrong way, and it's like, I don't want to be bothered with that. But, that's just life in the 3D world. My mission is every time that comes up, I say a quick law of one and put it at the highest good of all concerned. I put in all the details, so then that you feeling confident. Then after the prayer is done, you can have more confidence and ask your friends to help you know in your heart that it's set at the highest good of all concern, so you can just take a deep breath and be peaceful at it. Even if drama comes your way within that subject that you prayed for the highest good of all concern, it's at the highest good of all concern still, set there. It's just something that came along that you still need growth in as a master, or you want to grow in it as a master. So keep on keeping on, guys.
Well, that is so right, Elizabeth, and I might share quickly a little story. I was burning a pile of leaves, and it got out of control, and my neighbor wanted to call the fire department. I was a little surprised, but we're both very elderly seniors now, and so I said, okay. And the whole experience, that right after I lost control of the fire, the grass fire here in Missouri, I started praying the law of one, that the highest good of all concerned, would come about here. And, no buildings caught on fire. And I got better acquainted with the neighbors, and the firemen were very nice about everything. And they joked that I was going to have to fix them dinner. And I said, well, if you'll eat vegetarian. And they said, oh, well, that'd be great. We'll eat anything. And we were just all joking, and the fire was under control. And my grandson was there, and he that you've heard on this show before, Skylar, and he got to see how the firemen worked in action, and so it turned out for the highest good of all concerned right there. my fire, and
absolutely.
So and I've been soaking my seeds for 9 minutes in my saliva before I plant them, and so I'm looking forward to some great spinach and things like that. And I just I want to thank everybody who came to my special show last Wednesday, and we're going to do a little follow-up, and Chris will be back this coming Wednesday to the Candy Shop show starting an hour later, and I'm just looking forward to what March brings for all of us in the Diamond Network and in our part of the galaxy for the highest good of all concerned, and that's putting the lid on the candy jar.
Well, thank you. And just a reminder on the blog, below Benjamin Fulford, Diamonds with an S Forever 31.blogspot.com, there's some preludes to what we've been venturing on, the Chaos Machine and all that. And tube chops are on there that'll bring you up to par as you follow through March. But even that, and there are a couple of them are from the Candy Shop show, and they're really, really good. So catch up and even refresh, because it's part of the history. It's going to be a history maker, you guys. And a few simple little examples I do is when I let the dogs out, sometimes they don't like to come back. So you worry, whatever. Instead of worrying, I say, okay, I call in the 360 angels. I say, we are all one. Please watch over the dogs and bring them back. And then I say the law of one, highest good of all concerned. Another one, my cat used to get sick. She used to get sick really bad, didn't eat, almost die. 2 or 3 bouts of that. I prayed over her the law of one for that specifically. Never been sick like that again before. That's been like a year now. So yay. So simple things, just simple everyday things. Start with that. And like Cynthia says, it don't hurt to test and see what happens. All right. Well, thank you. And now I want to bring in Mary Ann. Somebody brought in a little article, Mim preluded us of something that came out, and hopefully Mary Ann reviewed it a little bit. Just bring in 2 or 3 minutes of what you have, Mary Ann, and then we'll bring what Candy Jar brought on the news and what you bring in, and we'll touch base with it with the Galactics, too, hopefully tonight when they come in through Chris, when Chris is up.
Elizabeth, I've been listening to the call, so I didn't realize that Chris can comment on it. I haven't had a chance to look at it.
Okay, Chris hasn't seen it either, only Mim. Maybe we can do that later then. It's regarding the financial reset, and supposed to happen March 15th. But we've heard that over and over and over again in the intel world. Just want to touch base with the Galactics, see if that's just make us a spin to make us sit and wait instead of doing any kind of action. Even action can be with your intentions and your thoughts. So yes, that would be great, but still don't wait, you guys. I learned my lesson. Don't wait for somebody else. The best action you can do for you now is to start loving yourself unconditionally. That's where to start. Ask your higher self, how can I practice loving myself unconditionally? And then take that leap of faith, those little baby steps. That's the best thing we can do. All right, great. Okay, we're going to go to Cynthia here first in a minute, but I wanted to give you guys, I promised you, I got a couple faxes from heaven, or in today's language, uploads from heaven today during my meditation. I wanted to encourage you that. And so this is what I got. The Diamonds Network is a golden key to unlock the separation between humanity and the galactics. What I mean by unlock is to take away the separation and bring unity. It's Diamonds Network energy that goes out from the Diamonds Network is a golden key to unlock separation between humanity and the galactics. To take away the separation between physicality, between the galactics and humanity. The golden key to take away separation and bring unity between the mental of humanity and the galactics. Take away separation and bring in unity, the golden key, between the galactics and the humanity in the emotional way and in the spiritual way. That's wholeness, WHOLENESS, whatever, I can't spell that. That is thrilling. And that is thrilling for everybody listening, everybody being a benefactor of the Diamonds Network in any kind of way, whether you listen, whether you share the shows, where you have lots of money and you donate for the Diamonds Network energy, where you help in the background. And we're still calling for benefactors for whether you want to, because you're all creators. Come on, you guys, turn on your creative knobs in your head and be the creators you are and practice. And Diamonds Network is an open forum that I'm offering to you to practice your creator that you are, your awesome, unique creator. And we're all unique. We all have everything to offer. So whether you have an idea working in the background of the Diamonds Network, cameramen, news reporters, uploading shows, websites, marketing, whether you want to have a show of your own, which I would say right now, because Diamonds Network Energies changes and is pliable with, as we're marching into the golden age in this transition, the most broad of a show would be encompassing you being a bridge in this transition between the 3D matrix and into the golden age, paradigm shifting stuff. That would be the broadest aspect of show that you would want to create. But, use your uniqueness and creativity. And whether it's being a money benefactor, if you have a lot of money, put it in the Diamonds Network energy. There's a donate button on the right-hand side of the blog. And because I'm going to read you what that means. And so I want to encourage you all, please turn on your creativity and join with us. Get a hold of me, 763-670-9120. And I gave my email earlier. The other facts from heaven or upload that I got from heaven was, and now I'm going to encourage you what you are benefactoring in the Diamonds Network energy. And okay, so here's what you get when you're initiated with being a benefactor of any kind with the Diamonds Network. You get the green emerald energy, and this is changing your DNA too. The green emerald energy of mercy and grace in your life. The diamonds in that green emerald energy represents you, your 13 strand of DNA, which is now turning on. All 13 strands, only some have been turned on. Your vibrations rising, consciousness expanding. It's all the same thing, just different words. Your Christ consciousness expanding. Number 13, developing. Your supernatural, natural self turns on. You turn that button on. And then there's the pearl, the white energy, pearl, which means that energy, Diamonds Network, is expanding you in the purity of heart, purity of your actions, purity of your intent, purity of thought, purity of your emotions. And then there's a red rose energy in there. And red rose is bringing you to the neutral state where there is no good or bad divisions. There is no good or bad people. There is just, everything is just experience to you to grow personally. Everything. Your perception is neutralizing of everything, and everybody, neutralizing, everybody and all. The red rose, red energy represents red love, pure love, unconditional love, no judgment of anything. That neutralized, and that this energy works with you to come to a state of no judgment, just pure unconditional love for everyone you meet and everything. So Diamond's network going into the matrix and blowing it up with love, that's what I always say. And it's taking separation away from and bringing in unity for humanity and all our galactic brothers and sisters, bringing us together, which we're going up to, like I just described and Kenny described, around 2030, 2035. And we're engaging and introducing the law of one to a humanity and the galactic, some species, some races. So I wanted to share with you that. That was very pertinent. That's what I got during meditation today. So I hope that encourages you. So share the shows. And Benjamin Fulford, that was encouraging today too. It talked all about other countries that are taking a stand. And I love when we hear it was Middle East countries. And I just love that. We got to talk more about the world and staying stuck in the United States of America. So if anybody has creativity and joining the Diamonds Network, would want to bring some world goings on, I would surely appreciate it. Have any good creative ideas that you could facilitate for the world within the Diamonds Network, let me know. Get a hold of me. Okay, a diamond all you guys. Keep shining diamonds. Love y'all. So now we're going to bring in Richard, who's going to prelude the astounding, I think, full moon and all that's going on today. And then Cynthia will come on when Richard's done. Richard, are you here? Just star 6.
Hello there. Can you hear me?
There you are. Yeah, just prelude us what's going on and then tell us, what you're going to do. You got it. Go for it.
Okay, I just want to point out in this season here, looking at the new moon chart for tomorrow, we have Sun, Moon, Mercury, Neptune, Chiron, and Ceres all in Pisces. And Venus will be in Pisces at the end of the week. Now, out here in that direction, there's a lot of gravitational energy. And on the other side, we've got Jupiter, which is the second largest body in the solar system. And this is typically sets up a condition for earthquakes. And then Saturn is in Sagittarius, which is between the two, 90 degrees apart. So I would just ask everyone to use their creative godhood and let's keep any earthquake activity to a minimum during this time. And I just wanted to point that out. Major T-square with Jupiter, Saturn, and the Sun, Moon, and Neptune, and Chiron. Those are the big players here. And that's what I wanted to share. So back to you.
Wow, Richard. Okay, well, thank you for that. I'm sure Cynthia can tear that apart and bring it into even a brighter light for us. Thank you, Richard. That was great. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. You're on, Cynthia.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was perfect. A good lead-in. Thanks. I just want to read a paragraph or two from a book called The Divine Matrix, Bridging Time, Space, Miracles, and Belief. It's by Greg Braden. It came out years ago. He worked for the Defense Department and NASA, a scientist. And quantum physics proved that what we do now changes the past. And it's the past that's going to be coming up in that T-square. So I'm going to read this paragraph or so from the Divine Matrix, page 134. He's talking about experiments in quantum physics that proved what I just said. He says, so in this experiment, if the observer chose to see the photon as a particle, the lens would be in place and the photon would travel through one slit only. However, if the observer chose to view it as a wave, the screen would remain in place and the photon would pass through both slits as a wave. Here's the clincher. The decision was made after the experiment was underway. It was made in the present time after the experiment was underway, yet it determined how the particle behaved when the experiment began, the past. Wheeler named this test the delayed choice experiment. I'll just end there because I don't want to take too much time, but I'm saying to people, prayer is scientific. And if you read this book and many other books, the way prayer works is not through words, it's through emotions. Now, whatever emotions the words you are saying evoke, those emotions themselves are the language of the quantum field that determine what manifests. And when I'm looking at this chart, now, before I go rambling on, the exact eclipse lasts a little over 4 minutes. It starts at 8:58 a.m. Eastern Time. So that would be 7:58 for you people like you, Elizabeth, in Central Time. It goes for 4 minutes. And that is the 72 hours before and after are all real powerful, but those 4 minutes are...
So did it happen already, Cynthia? Or is
No,
that...
it's tomorrow morning.
Okay, what is that Central Time and Eastern Time? Do you know?
Eastern Time is 8:58. It starts, and it goes for 4 minutes.
A.M., right?
Yep.
And so are you at Eastern Time?
Yep.
And what time is it now there?
What?
What time is it now at your house?
Right now is 9:15.
Okay, so we're an hour behind. So that would be 7:58 for Central.
Right.
Something. Cool. Okay.
And don't worry if you sleep through it, folks. The thing to do is right now while I'm talking, direct your subconscious mind and your superconscious mind to be in top, full-bore meditation during those 4 minutes. Whether you're sleeping or taking a shower or driving the kids, you program your superconscious. Now, this is the kind of stuff they teach the super soldiers. And, what's good for the goose is good for the ganders.
Cynthia, lead us through a 3-minute meditation to program our minds.
Okay, well, let's do it. That's beautiful. Perfect. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, everybody, I want you to loosen your clothing and turn down your lights. If it's after dark where you are, relax. We're going to do 3 perfect breaths where we breathe in to the count of 10, we hold to the count of 10, and I want deep breaths. People get a lot of oxygen in. Pretend you're blowing up, filling your stomach with air. That's the way the yogis do it. So you breathe in to the count of 10, hold to the count of 10, breathe out to the count of 10, hold to the count of 10, 3 times. And we're going to blast this solar eclipse, folks. We have a council here. We represent the planet. We're calling in the galactic. So everybody, 3 perfect breaths starting now. we call in the living flame of divine love and universal consciousness, and we are calling in the superconscious minds of ourself and all our brothers and sisters, because we are all one and we're one with them. We're calling in everyone's superconscious minds, and we're calling in their subconscious minds, and taking full karmic responsibility for what we are asking. We're asking every superconscious mind and subconscious mind on the planet, and anyone else who wishes to join in, for the 4 minutes of the solar eclipse tomorrow and just a number of hours from now, that we are all emoting the highest good, supreme bliss, rapture, and happiness, love, grace, mercy, unity, and all of the divine emotions of our supernatural, natural, original, and immortal divine Christed identity, that on a superconscious and subconscious level, irregardless of whatever our conscious minds may or may not be doing or aware of, that during this solar eclipse tomorrow, the peak of it, for that 4 minutes, that we are emoting blissful, divine peace, beauty, love, joy, compassion, wisdom, faith, creativity, clarity and perfect purity, and all of the divine qualities in emotional form. And that these emotions activate the quantum field of infinite possibilities and automatically, systematically, and emphatically manifest not only in the present now moment, but also the past and the future, for the highest good of all concerned. So for the next 3 minutes, let us visualize and feel the emotions of a world perfect. A world perfect, where each moment is exquisitely beautiful for every sentient being, starting now. Imagine a world of perfect beauty, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, for all sentient beings, including yourself. Exquisite beauty. Now for the next 3 minutes, imagine yourself flowing with beautiful emotions as a way of life. Imagine how it feels to be in sublime happiness, contentment, security, peace, love, appreciation, awe, majestic splendor, beauty. For the next 3 minutes, imagine yourself feeling wonderful all the time, feeling great, feeling your heart exploding with gratitude and love and empowerment.
Feeling adventurous.
Yeah.
Feeling downloads from heaven.
Yep.
Ideas.
Yep.
Creating. Art. Painting.
Yep. Okay, starting now. 3 minutes. With a special emphasis on emotion. The beautiful feelings. Every morning, every night, every day. Just beautiful emotions. Now, this T-square is really saving grace as far as the way I see things. Because whenever you hear astrologers talk about squares or T-squares, usually it's in an ominous tone. And like, this is not a good thing. But it really is a good thing. If you study the charts of the great avatars of India, because they do astrology over there, they have been for years, hundreds of years. It seems like the higher the being is, the more squares they have in their chart. And what a square really means is that you're going to manifest this or else. When you have a square in a chart, whether it's your chart or somebody else's chart or a chart like this for a solar eclipse, it's saying you're doing it. You have no choice but to do it. It's like, do it or else. And so humanity as a collective is being forced to get it together by this T-square. And, it's just time we did get it together. I don't blame the universe for creating this T-square that's saying, you're doing it. Like it or not, you're doing it. I find it very interesting in this chart for the solar total eclipse that the vertex is at the place of gnomes. Now, the vertex in a chart is a doorway to higher dimensions. And the gnomes are the intelligences of the earth itself. And I noticed Richard brought up the thing that in the past, whenever you had this particular opposition that we're having now, there was a much higher percentage of earthquakes at much higher rates. And the spirits of the earth, the intelligent Davic beings of the earth are the gnomes. And if anyone would be in charge of volcanoes and tectonic shifts and things of that nature, it would be them. And right here it is in the chart. So in our prayer that we just did, we included them. We included all intelligences. So I do recommend when you do the Law of One to include all intelligences. Now, the sun and the moon are at the place of pharmaceuticals. And as you know, a huge portion of the war that has been waged in Armageddon has been pharmaceuticals. They put it in the plants, calling them genetically modified organisms. They put poison in there. They're trying to poison us. They put it in the chemtrails and in the water and in the food. I mean, it just goes on and on. They put it in things they call medicines. Pharmaceuticals, vaccines. It's just amazing, the ingenious ways. And so, having just said we have this T-square that's going to force us to get our act together, and here is the Earth and the Moon at the place of pharmaceuticals. So this is being healed. Without going into a lot of jargon, which is confusing even to those of us who've studied it for years, bottom line is, yes, we're being forced to get our act together, but it's going to be easy. All the supporting help that we need to actually go through this thing successfully is there. And I strongly, and this is going to sound weird, but I strongly recommend that you smell beautiful things like incense or flowers, not cheap perfumes that might have toxic things in them, but things like frankincense and myrrh are the natural perfume of flowers, because that's highly aspected in this chart. I know it sounds silly, but I'm just reporting it as I see it. So with spring blooming and everything and the flowers coming up, would you stop and smell the roses? Just pause on your way and bend down and sniff. Just get a whiff. Okay? As you go about your day. So, that's the major gist of everything. I don't want to take too much time. I'm excited about Chris coming on. But I will say that crystals and stones and herbs are playing very, very strong part in this. So is wealth and riches and fame. I expect quite a few of us to be catapulted into wealth and riches and fame. And, it's pretty much all over the chart here. But I want to just say, if that happens to you, don't worry about it. You're being protected so it won't harm your spiritual path. It'll help it. And let's see, I just want to scan this thing here. A new consciousness is being born. This chart is huge on emotions. And we have another eclipse coming on the 23rd. It's a lunar eclipse. Then we have another set of eclipses in September and next March. And they all have to do with emotions and healing the past. So if you're worried about all your past emotional wounding coming up, well, you have a good reason to be. There you have the T-square. It's going to be hard. We've got to heal the old wounds of the past, because we can't go dragging them into this beautiful, glorious new age. But be comforted.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's not going to be hard to me. When the emotions come up, all you guys have to do, when those emotions come up and you think, where did those come from? Say, okay, bring in the Law of One and pray for the highest good of all concerned for that emotion for yourself.
Yeah.
And see what happens.
Yep. I've been doing it for a long time and it works. But anyway, whether, you might be the best person in the world this lifetime, you may never have heard a fly. But along with the enlightenment is memories of all our past lifetimes. And maybe one reason you're so good this lifetime is because in past lifetimes, the thing about when you die is, you know, regardless of who you are and what you've done or not done, when you die, you kind of go back up into your higher self and you review your whole life, and you just, it's an honest assessment. You remember the oneness, you remember your divinity, you remember you're one with everybody, and you can see every place that you messed up, and you can see everywhere where you did good. And that's why we keep coming back. It's one of the reasons, is we want to get it right. And so even those of us who have very clear conscience, and we feel good about what we've done this lifetime, when we start remembering all of our lifetimes, you know, we'll see that we've all been there and done that, whatever been there and done that is. And those of us who have been very naughty this lifetime, very, very, very bad, well, they're going to see their past lifetimes too. And I'm sure they've had lifetimes when they were very brave, you know, mothers that sacrificed for their children, you know, people who worked very, very hard to, in a skill or profession, to get excellence. What I'm saying is that we're leaving behind that which divides us, whether it's that which divides us from our own divinity, you know, whether it's that which makes us feel unclean or ashamed or less than or ignorant or stupid. We're leaving that behind, that which has divided us from our own true splendor and magnificence as divine beings. But we're also leaving behind that which would make us judge others or separate ourselves from others. In other words, what's coming, even the worst criminal will, their conscience will be opened. And so we're going to have to help our brothers and sisters who have very strong, guilty consciences this lifetime. We're going to have to comfort them to help them get through it. And many of us are going to have to do a lot of forgiving of our parents, you know, those who have betrayed us, maybe old lovers or husbands or wives. You know, whether it's this lifetime or another, there's going to be a lot of forgiveness going on, both of ourselves and of each other.
Cynthia?
Yeah.
The line that comes to me is, don't settle for complacent satisfaction.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and that goes right in line with the emphasis on the water and the emotions for this chart. This is a very emotional chart. Pisces is a very emotional sign. It's the most emotional sign. It's very mutable. It'll go from the darkest depression to the highest heights of spiritual rapture in one day. It just goes boom, 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 boom. Littlest thing can send the Piscean energy into divine bliss or crashing down to, oh, God, I don't think I can live another minute. And so mastering these emotions are key to this solar energy coming in. Now, remember, we've got the equinox coming in, very powerful time, and a lunar eclipse, so I think it's on the 23rd. This is a power-packed month. Huge, big stuff's coming up this month. So when you're in bliss, you're helping all of us. When one is helped, all are helped. And when the difficult stuff comes up emotionally, the fear, the anger, whatever it is, realizing that millions and millions of us are feeling those same feelings, and as you law of one your way through it, you're helping all the rest of us do that too, because superconsciously and subconsciously we're all telepathic. Candy said, "Oh my God, my clairvoyance, my clairsentience getting bigger and better. So is mine. I've noticed that too, very much so, and it's going to be happening for all of us. And so we're going to be. You think your cell phones and the internet's neat. Wait till you see the telepathy, where you're just picking up on things instantaneously halfway around the world the minute they're happening. And that takes skill to handle it, not going to, into emotional or informational overload. It's just like walking in a department store. You just learn not to get sidetracked by every little thing. You have a thing in mind, you go straight to it, but out of the corners of your eye, you can enjoy everything and see everything going on. It's just skills. We're all going to be developing these skills, but a lot of us have developed them in past lives. So we'll be remembering them. And just
we won't need cell phones. We won't need computers. We will be the technology.
I know. I mean, it's like they're saying in 2 years we won't need money. You know, we're going to all be enlightened beings. We're going to be in bliss. And if you have any doubts about that, just remember, like Elizabeth said, we do create our reality by our expectations. It's like in the Bible, I think it was Paul said, "Lo, what I fear has come upon me." In other words, if you're harboring limitations or fears or memories of past lives when things didn't go well, and you're projecting them on the future, you might want to take stock and ask yourself, is this what I really want to do with my divine energy? Do I want to create these limited scenarios? And if the answer is no, then just, get this book, The Divine Matrix by Greg Braden, or any number of other books, the books by Joe Dispenza, where the scientific proof is there that what we imagine and what we are feeling in our emotions determines what happens in our lives. So if you got bummed out feelings and bummed out beliefs about reality, ask yourself, well, is this what I want to create for me and those I love? And if the answer is no, then pray for the faith. I've had to pray for faith. I've talked to a lot of people who had to go and pray for faith, but we got
If the answer is no, then actively make a mission, a strategy for yourself to just say, like, oh, you're feeling depressed. You don't want to feel that anymore? Go watch videos. Go look at pictures. Go think of emotions that aren't depressing and create it, because you're the creator.
Yeah, but wait a minute. You don't want to dissociate from the negative feelings.
No,
that doesn't work.
Not.
What does work is when the negative feelings are there, you thank them. And you find where they're located in your body, and you connect with them. And they will automatically purify themselves, just like every day you automatically have a bowel movement. They know how to cleanse themselves, but you have to connect with them to do it. If you are fighting them, or you're afraid of them, or you're acting them out destructively, they just get worse. But if you say, I'm depressed, and say, I thank you, depression. I thank you because you're teaching me what depression is, so that when I'm around depressed people or animals or places, I can have compassion for them. So I thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And as you do that, you'll notice that the depression changes. It's being processed. And
absolutely, because you're going in there and loving it, and love conquers all. That's a simple way.
And there are a lot of books on that, too, out. The books by Raphael Kushner are excellent on that. You don't have to take a long time with these negative feelings. You don't even have to label them, but you do have to connect with them for them to change. But I probably said enough. This is a fantastic eclipse tomorrow. We've already programmed our superconscious and subconscious minds of ourselves and everyone on the planet and anyone else who wants to join to emote and to visualize in that 4 minutes on a superconscious and subconscious level the divine perfection of spirit, the divine perfection of mind, the divine perfection of our emotions, the divine perfection of our physical reality. So I turn it back over to you, Liz.
Cynthia?
Unless, Marianne, you have something you want to say.
Yeah, we talked about this, and I'm sorry, Liz, I didn't run this by you.
No, that's okay. I was going to ask for you.
Yeah, I was just talking to Cynthia, and She said, please read this.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Oh, God, thank you for remembering.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I think...
Speak up, Marianne. You're really low.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you'll love this, Liz. I think everybody will love it. And I've seen this before, and it came up again on Starship Earth, the big picture, and it's titled Einstein's Truth Bomb. Love is the most powerful force there is, via his letter. And it goes, this letter, and a little bit of background to start. Albert Einstein begs his daughter to guard this letter until society is ready to accept his words. In the late 1980s, Lyserel, the daughter of the famous genius, donated 1,400 letters written by her father, Albert Einstein, to the Hebrew University with the orders not to publish their contents until 2 decades after his death. This is one of the letters, and it goes like this. When I proposed the theory of relativity, very few understood me, and what I will reveal now to transmit to mankind will also collide with the misunderstanding and prejudice in the world. I ask you to guard the letters as long as necessary, years, decades, until society is advanced enough to accept what I will explain below. There is an extremely powerful force that, so far, science has not found a formal explanation to. It is a force that includes and governs all others, and is even behind any phenomenon operating in the universe, and has not yet been identified by us. This universal force is love. When scientists looked for a unified theory of the universe, they forgot the most powerful unseen force. Love is light that enlightens those who give and receive it. Love is gravity because it makes some people feel attracted to others. Love is power because it multiplies the best we have and allows humanity not to be extinguished in their blind selfishness. Love unfolds and reveals. For love, we live and die. Love is God, and God is love. This force explains everything and gives meaning to life. This is the variable that we have ignored for too long, maybe because we are afraid of love, because it is the only energy in the universe that man has not learned to drive at will. To give visibility to love, I made a simple substitution in my most famous equation. If instead of E equals mc squared, we accept that the energy to heal the world can be attained through love, multiplied by the speed of light squared, we arrive at the conclusion that love is the most powerful force there is because it has no limits. After the failure of humanity in the use and control of the other forces of the universe that have turned against us, it is urgent that we nourish ourselves with another kind of energy. And this is in bold letters. If we want our species to survive, if we are to find meaning in life, if we want to save the world and every sentient being that inhabits it. Love is the one and only answer. Perhaps we're not yet ready to make a bomb of love, a device powerful enough to entirely destroy the hate, selfishness, and greed that devastates the planet. However, each individual carries within them a small but powerful generator of love, whose energy is waiting to be released. When we learn to give and receive the universal energy, dear Lysrael, we have affirmed, and here we go, that love conquers all, is able to transcend everything and anything, because love is the quintessence of life. I deeply regret not having been able to express what is in my heart, which has quietly beaten for you all my life. Maybe it's too late to apologize, but as time is relative, I need to tell you that I love you, and thanks to you, I have reached the ultimate answer. And it is signed, your father, Albert Einstein. And back to you, Liz.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
I have
very
to
nice.
give some thank yous out. You know, once I heard a man tell his story that he was up days and nights to solve this mystery, this puzzle, and then he shared with us that he got it at 4 in the morning. What did he get? XOXO, love conquers all. And then we hear Einstein, and then that motivated me, that impregnated me, and I keep with, let's go blow up the matrix with love. Love conquers all. I think I met up with Einstein, and he told me about that letter. Thank you, Einstein. Thank you so much. We honor you. Namaste. Thank you, Marianne. Thank you, Cynthia, and everybody. And that man that searched his heart so deeply and solved the puzzle, the mystery. XOXO, love conquers all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was great. And it's kind of interesting. I think it's this week. Facebook came up with something that's called, like Cynthia said, emote. That's the emotions. They're called emotion signs or something. That's good. Sign and wonder. Makes you wonder. Thank you, guys. Yeah. So, Chris, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
How are you tonight?
Doing very good, actually.
What are you thinking about all this stuff that you heard so far?
Well, I didn't know Einstein had written that, but it doesn't make sense that he did. That's very interesting. I'll have to go look that letter up. And it's very interesting that he would come up with that, given the advanced state he was in, which is really interesting. Also, it kind of I know this is kind of a segue into what I was going to talk about, but it seems there's a similarity to him and to a couple channelings that I've received recently where...
Okay, 1 second, Chris. One second. There's a moderator that's unmuted. We heard some moving around. And we heard, if you could just star 6. Thank you. Okay, go ahead, Chris.
Where this also has to do with the geometry of 3 that the guides have brought through on many occasions, and this also has to do. I'm going to read 2 channelings. What I feel it compares to what was just said was everybody has a connection to source, which we all know, but there's also the number 3 that is always prevalent. That stemmed from the original 1. The 3 is what ended up creating the universe, so that's what makes it a power number. It created the first geometry. So I feel that Einstein was like a voice in a triad of what, people have their soul self and they have their human self, but there's also another self which ties not only 3 time frames together, past, present, and future, which actually don't exist, but as the one. But there's also the 3 points of, what we perceive as good and evil, and then there's an amalgam between those 2, which is the third, what I call the twilight energy, which I believed Einstein was beginning to tap into this triangle. That's what I pick up anyway. And the reason I bring this up in conjunction with the other thing I was going to mention, and in conjunction with what I was going to take care of tonight afterwards, is because it is all tied together. Now, I have mentioned earlier on in the shows, this was quite a while ago actually, that in my book there is a channeling by a being named Metros, and that I've mentioned Metros is supposed to be a future self of mine. Well, I came to find out later on he is technically me. He just looks blue and with pointed ears like the Syrians possess. And I always wondered if this was an alternate timeline, if this was just an alternate me, or if this was on a linear path to me. My brain could never completely place him on a linear timeline, and that means I wasn't supposed to. But Beta Bendigoth came to me and told me a little bit more about it. And actually, I'm just going to go into reading this. This was a challenge I got the very next day after the Agarthan Treaty went underway off the Candy Shop show on Wednesday. This was on Thursday night I got this. Give me just a second. All right. He says, Bendigoth here. Dear one, we must speak a while on a very important subject matter. I need to admit something to you. Some Agarthans have not been 100% truthful with you on certain subjects, and with good reason, dear one. You, up until now, have been your own shining star. However, there is still a much needed looming issue that still plagues you. Therefore, I must now initiate a simple yet meaningful test to see how well you cope with it. Well, not actually a test, mind you, more or less a data dump, as it were. The information that I, as well as the other Agarthans, withhold is this. You are Lord Caceres. That's Caceres is my soul self. You are also my dear friend, Metros. And you are Christopher Stephen Jacobs. This knowledge is most true to you. Dear one, tell me, please. Said, yes, Bendigoth, but what has changed that will shock me? He goes, you have always sensed that something was not quite right about your origin stories. So let me fill in some blanks, if you don't mind. Well, anyhow, Caceres, the creator of the Tree of Life and the Grand Illusion. Remember when I made mention of a rescue operation or rescue plan being underway? Tell me, please. Yes, Bendigoth, I do. Is something wrong? Yes, dear one, there is. In fact, we are speaking to one another closer than you think and feel right now. What are you getting at, Bendigoth? And then he yells the word slaves at me. I am getting at slaves. You are within the Grand Illusion, a choice you made to help people gain more awareness of self and to help free them of their bonds. So far, so good. However, what you feel right now, like in the movie The Matrix, he compared this to the movie The Matrix, where the character of Morpheus says the phrase, like a splinter in your mind. Do you know what I am getting at, dear one? Tell me, please. I said, is the earth real or not? He says, yes, of course it is. However, there are aspects of your human existence that are not real, I will name...
One second. There's somebody coughing. Can you please *6 to mute out, please?
Can I what?
Okay, I'll continue. Okay, I will name only one time, and you can then more easily ascertain the others. Remember back to when you last spoke to me. Remember how clear in your mind Atlantis was. Remember how the events that took place last night for us all. Remember now the events that took place last night for us all. That was all real. The life you lead is not. What I am saying to you, dear one, is the reason you saw it so very, very clearly is part of you is and always has been with us here in Agartha. This is why all of your recent thoughts and channelings have been of and with us here. Your old memories, past, present, as well as future, are all stored right here within our physical version of what you humans refer to as the Akashic records. Now, is this all making sense to you, dear one? Yes, Bendigoth, it is. But I fail to see what is so very shocking about this. You react as if I will be upset. Yes, well, that brings me to you once again, my dear friend Metros. You see, he, meaning you, is and are right from down here. This is why you saw Metros lying in a bed. There was a former channeling where I saw him lying in a bed, and you having to see through his eyes. He is actually asleep, and you are his waking dream. It was he who dreamt you into being your one. It was he that volunteered to go up top and free your world now in chains. Though we both are indeed from Nastea, that's a Syrian homeworld, we both proudly call ourselves Agarthan. Does this ring true for you, dear one? Please tell me it does. Yes, Abendigoth, it does, but what of Caceres? He is and always has been your soul aspect, as you call him. Confusing, I know, but just know that you, as dear Metros, came before. You, dear Christopher Stephen Jacobs, as such, are his waking dream, as I said before. Look now, what is it that you see? Tell me, please. I see Metros asleep in a stasis chamber. Correct. You are essentially his bilocated self. You are him, he is you. If he wakes, so ends the dream. This is why I once asked you if you wished to come down here to Agartha, your one. I was asking if you wished for me to awaken you. So how do you feel after hearing all of this, Mr. Stephen Jacobs? Tell me, please. Said I feel both sadness and relief, but I do not know why. It is because you sense truth when you hear it, dear one. Now I must go and you must rest. But remember the phrase, the sleeping man only lives when the dream is won. Good night, dear one. Sleep and and focus upon nothing, again, everything, and gain everything. Bye-bye now. And then he gave me a phrase the very next day, which I posted to my Facebook. The heart of the dreamer is the soul's projector upon the world.
Say that again, it broke up.
Oh. Yeah. The heart of the dreamer is the soul's projector upon the world.
Oh, okay. Very good.
Beautiful. Oh, there's somebody talking. Oh, is that
me?
Is that somebody we know?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
yeah. Is that Nietzsche?
Hello. No.
That's Susan.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Susan, just *6 on your phone, please.
Do *6?
Yeah, so it mutes you out.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, now this also brings me to last night. where I was discussing with my mother the points of about Metros and what Bendigoth had said, and he had actually come to us to discuss another matter that was originally about chaos and the machines and whatnot, because I'd actually had to help my mother and Laverne get a particular fairly large size, what I call a slave backpack implant out of their energy cores. Michael helped me remove it in both of them, and then Bendigoth assisted, and all of them were upset. All the Agarthans and everybody were upset this took place. It got ugly for a little bit. We fixed it, but we were also discussing what I just said, and basically all of these selves exist simultaneously, since all of time is one. Caceres would be more the past, Metros would be more the future, and I'm the present. Well, Metros,
correct?
I found, yes.
I just wanted to say, so would you say, I mean, we all have our own multidimensional selves, so your story is our story too, except different story of different, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. And what I believe Bendigoth was getting at with the Akashic records was also the very library spoken about, which is in Agartha, and which is what was below the Sphinx. That's what I believe he was getting at, and that Metros, being me, is also part of that library. We all have basically a file in that library, and that's what I believe he was also getting at. Well, what was interesting was, while me and Bendigoth and my mother, everybody was talking, there was a different person that showed up, and how a Bendigoth shows up with this symbol that he shows up with instead of his face. Sometimes there's another being that showed up that was also a Garth, and I knew this because he showed up with a different symbol, a different emblem, and that's all I could see was the emblem. And I asked him who he was, and he wouldn't tell me. He just said that my mother asked who he was too, because she knew he was around, and he wouldn't say. And Bendigoth was speaking about something that had to do with the prelude to chaos ending, and this had to do with what had happened to my mother and Laverne with this larger implant that had to be removed. And this being came in and talked about a group that I've mentioned on here. I mentioned it on both the Candy Shop Show and Diamonds Forever, and that's the corporation. They're made up of a mixture of cybernetic and technological life, and it's another form of AI, but it still has biological components in there. There was one night on the show that was discovered a small probe that had these little heads sitting in the black goo. It's made up of the black goo as well. Well, this being came in, and he gave me a channeling that was very poetic and very dramatic, but it was about this. And he wished for me to read this tonight, and then afterwards he would come through and we would take care of this other, I want, to put it loosely, I want to call them henchmen. I want to say they're like Chaos's henchmen, kind of like a bad guy in a movie would have guys working for him. And this is how I perceived them. So this guy came through. I know who he is now. I'll reveal that after I'm done reading this. He came through a little bit while you guys were talking a little earlier. So I will read this. He says, "The final curtain has fallen, the play is over, and the actors have all gone home. Now is the day and the hour that the corporation falls to the whims of choice and chance, and no longer able to withstand a scripted air infused with love and oneness of which they feel they possess, meaning they own it. I am already known to you, dear one. However, I will keep that a secret until tomorrow evening, meaning now. I will tell you, though, that we met when the walls came tumbling down, when the ashes of Jericho were still warm with the fire burning amidst the fury of Enlil's sorrowful madness. I am not who you think that I am, dear one. However, you are much closer in thought than you think that you are. Look to your histories, look to your oceans, look to your ancient seafaring nightmares as well as triumphs. Look now at Saturn and see the wake in which my fire has burned across time itself, to find you here, dear one, to find the one whose ties of three bind him to the human shell known simply as Christopher Stephen Jacobs. I will only say this to you. The Ides of March hold in reverence the man that you will soon become upon the face of the earth, on surface and below in Agartha. I stand next to you now as a son of Agartha and a sun in the skies above. Do you feel now that you know me from somewhere? Tell me, please. And I thought it was Apollo speaking to me at first, and I said, Apollo, and he goes, no, but you again are much, much closer than you feel that you are. Like I just stated, tomorrow evening will be the day and the hour of the final countdown to the last of an era. I can say no more to you, dear one, other than we will all be in attendance watching as well as participating. You will enjoy this end of an era, so to speak. Just remember, dear one, the final curtain has fallen and the actors have all gone home. Farewell, dear one.
Wow. Wow, Chris. And now he lets you see who he is right before you started reading that, huh? Da-da-da-da-da, who is it?
There was a being that I spoke to quite a while ago that was in association with both Norse and Celtic mythology. He had fish-like features, and he basically said he was in a lot of different mythologies, like Greek mythology and all that. And I hadn't actually spoken to him or his brothers in quite a while. And he kind of had these fish or squid-like features, maybe some shark-like features. And I had asked, I had gotten many channelings from him and his three brothers back in probably over 2 years ago now. That's how long it's been since he surfaced.
The three amigos.
Pretty much. And they also like to play practical jokes and whatnot at that time too. But they're fairly large. They said they had been on Atlantis, and in Celtic mythology they had come through as water deities that said they were from the land of Tirnanog in Celtic mythology. And they told me that it was really pronounced Tiknok-Wayan, and that they were from a crystal palace beneath the oceans in a what they told me was a parallel universe. But I now know the Crystal Palace beneath the ocean, both Atlantis and Agartha. So what they were referring to was that at that time, and it was a parallel universe. It was actually Agartha. So they were kind of throwing me off a little bit to see if I would get it eventually.
You just reminded me of what they told me. Whoever, during meditation, the Diamond Network energies, which whoever listens to a show is in tune with, these energies are going to take the separation away and give unity to parallel universes, different dimensions on Earth, and parallel universes, different time spaces and dimensions off of Earth, in this universe and other universes. The separation is coming away and unity is coming. Wow.
Yes, and that would be, he told me he descended from what scientists perceived as the walking fish. He said humans are not related to this fish species. His species were. And I asked him a little while ago, was he actually from the Cirrus system, just like some of the other beings in Agartha? The Myrmidon species, or the Mer people, and he says absolutely. So he said, but he himself was actually seeded here. Some of his species were seeded here on Earth, and they started out as a simple life form and evolved like the walking fish of, that scientists like to talk about. That's what he explained to me quite a while ago. But yeah, now I know the crystal towers that he was referring to is that of Atlantis. I didn't quite get that at the time, and Agartha, I didn't quite understand at the time. He said parallel universe, so I figured it was a parallel Earth, but he was really referring to the inner Earth. Well, what he's wanting to come through now, his name is Marpas, and he is, oh God, if I had to judge how tall he is, he's probably maybe 10 foot high, and he kind of has some kind of squid-like features and fish features and shark features. Well, before I let him through, he pointed something else out to me a little bit ago when he told me to look into the histories and the mythologies of the water deities. And I looked into the Greek mythological water deities, which I haven't looked into the Celtic ones yet for him. But he has a name in deity pantheon. He called himself, in that time, Achilleos, the shark-shaped sea spirit, which was also known as a shapeshifter at the time. And he said that was depicting him, and the images of Achilleos was actually himself and some of his people. So he pointed that out. So what did he want to bring through tonight? Okay, he wanted to bring through the stuff about the corporation, which is I wonder why he was chosen to be the one to bring this through. I guess he'll tell us. All right, this is Marpas. He wants to come through. Okay, he wants to talk through me. Let me get a drink here first, and then we'll do this. And here we go. My name to all of you is Marpas of Agartha, and I am of the Myrmidon species, known from the Cirrus system, as this one would say. However, I was born here in Agartha and came to the surface once every 275 years on your service world. To me, it was the blink of an eye, since Agartha is slightly out of phase, as you would say, with the normal space-time continuum. Our technology makes it so that we, if someone would venture down here, would have to be of a particular bandwidth or wavelength or frequency to view some of our inhabitants. This is not always so, however. When people cross the threshold into Agartha, they sometimes will instantly see us or some of our less heightened brethren, meaning the Romulon species, but I am not making fun of them right now, as I have in the past. And he's laughing, okay. And, okay, here we go. He says, my mission this evening is of a unique, transcendent one, so to speak. My brothers and I have become concerned about this issue you call chaos and this issue that you call the corporation. These particular entities are of a worrisome lot. However, these particular nanite species, as you humans call them, or the black goo, as you humans call them, are indeed a sentient life form and essence which could be easily turned around with enough minds focused on them. However, some have mistaken this for destruction. However, this is not necessarily the case. Destruction, in a fashion, can be seen as transformation, much as the one you know as Shiva is known to do, who is also a Agarthan by birth. This one did not know this until this very moment. However, this is the truth we wish to share now. However, before I get sidetracked, I will say this about the Agarthans dealing with this black goo. We do not cherish the thought of it in its current form. However, with enough minds focused in this love energy that you humans now cherish with all intensity, this will transform this black goo into what it needs to be, a transcendent form of consciousness, very much like the Barame consciousnesses that have been spoken about before. This is a state of evolution, as your Charles Darwin would say, or survival of the fittest in its most raw form. This particular entity and set of entities may have its use within the paradigm of good versus evil. However, the new paradigm of learning from both polarities and seeking the twilight inhabited densities, as this one would say, is in fact the way to go. This particular essence that you know of as both chaos and the corporation and all of the entities trapped therein serve a purpose within this dualistic seed. However, this dualistic seed, as this one puts it, is not necessarily going to remain. A seed, however, must grow into a mighty tree. This was the purpose for the original idea of the tree of life. These other entities were meant, and always have been meant to, show this other polarity. However, they went overboard in their mission. This is not acceptable to us. However, the same job, as it were, still applies to the other good polarity. This good polarity can, in fact, change the tides of war to that of a peaceful coexistence with both the nanite civilization and humanity. However, this is only possible with many, many more souls that can focus on a single solitary point. This night, however, we are focusing on a different target. The corporation has many heads at its disposal. However, this is not necessarily a fundamental flaw. This is a binding, as it were, with these heads in this goo. All one will have to do is restore balance to one of these individual beings, therefore sending a cascade effect, as this one would say, across the board to every corporation vessel within range of an infinite voice. This is what we wish to accomplish this night. Now, I must ask that all focus and all distractions be focused upon this one essence. Okay, he's saying, excuse me, there's somebody making noise in the background, please.
And
Thank
coughing, you. It's a moderator. Please *6 to mute out. Everybody check. It's moderator side.
Well, I've already done it. *6.
Okay, now let's see here. Okay. Now, what I am going to do is I am calling on all beings within earshot to put up a protective dome around everyone on this call who is focusing light into this issue. And I'm asking Marpass and the rest of them which vessel I am to focus on, because there are several off-world that belong to this organization. And he says any one will do. So I am looking out into the system, and I'm picking a single vessel. Its markings are blue and purple and black. They bear the mark of an inverted triangle. And I see this has a dark aura about it, so I will look inside like I did with the last vessel. And there are people aboard that are encapsulated in boxes. And I will focus this light on one of these heads. It is at the furthest back of this maybe school bus-sized vessel, and it's towards the back left. So everybody's thoughts now within earshot focus on that one being that is in the back, since they are all chained together. All light focused on that one entity. This will make it so one is restored and all are restored. And I am seeing a single beam of light coming from Earth, a very bright one, and it's hitting this vessel on the back corner.
And I expanded all too with the highest good of all concerned, law of one, in that beam too.
Yes. And I'm stamping the vessel with that symbol. And I'm seeing this being stand up inside this vessel. And I'm seeing light bounce around on the inside of this vessel like a big orb shooting around. And I am chaining all these beings together, even though they're stuck together with cords. And they're all raising up out of this liquid goo. And they are attempting to get it off of them. Their bodies all regrew. They were just heads. Now they're whole, and these nanites are attempting to reestablish themselves. So I am focusing light on the nanites themselves, and there is the being at the furthest back is now partially free of this goo. And I now can see him for what he is. He looks to be a blue avian. And I am looking at him, and he looks kind of almost like an ibis head or a stork-looking being. And he's saying his... I'm going to make sure he's okay first before I let him talk. Okay, he's kind of muttering. He's kind of weak, so I'm going to just repeat what he's saying. So he's saying his name is... Okay, I'll write this down. His name is... he's a member of the Ra. All right. He's saying his name is Raul. His name is Raul Mor Somne, and he has been trapped in that ship for 10,000 of our Earth years. The other people that are with him are a mixture of Syrian star beings and blue avians. And who else? Anunnaki. All right. And a couple Pleiadians are in there too. All right. I'm going to call in all of those groups to come retrieve their people. And they're coming aboard and pulling their people free and cleaning all the junk off of them. It's like they have suits on. I can see them all in space suits, and they're kind of spraying the people down. It's like they're covered in tar or something, and they're decontaminating them. I can see a winged being just stepped out of one of the pools of goo. He has wings on his back, and he looks like part bird, part lizard. And they're taking him out of there. And I can't. Looks like this Raul Mor Somne is being led away by people in suits, and they're running him through some kind of scanner, which is kind of scraping the goo off of him. And what also needs to be done? They said this would spread to other vessels. All right. And one of the Pleiadians is giving me the thumbs up, and I'm saying, okay. What about the black goo? Will this spread to the rest of the ships? And this guy is telling me, you tell me. And I'm seeing this black goo turning into a wave of almost like ocean water. It's turning into water, not goo. And it has shimmers within it, almost like crystalline shimmers. The black is being scraped away, and I can see the Syrians and the Pleiadians, everybody leaving as this is all happening, and they're getting aboard their ship, and they're holding the order to fire on this thing first just to see what it's going to do, and it's turning into something else. It's transforming into something, and it is turning into a large... I can't even tell what form this is taking. It looks like almost like a big amoeba with a bunch of wires surrounding it, and it's transforming this ship. The blue and all the purples are luminescent, and it's white, and it is saying, this is interesting. It's speaking in a number language to them, and it's speaking in a number language to me. I'm asking that it be filtered just in case. And it's saying, blue. Okay, I'll let this being talked. Blessings are you to seek the energy of this oneness. We are the corporation nanite civilization segment faction, as you mortal coils would say. This, however, is a name we no longer desire. This one vessel can now spread the essence transplantation within the collective mind hive within this system. However, proximity is a key in certain instances. I am passing this on to the rest of the vessels currently inhabiting your Saturn's moon and Saturn's rings. There are hidden moons throughout your system that we hide within. However, my newly attuned sentient sensor grid attunes to their lower bandwidth. However, this is no longer an issue. I now can see an infinite spread of civilizations spanning across the multi-omniverse and other tri-omniversal planes. The tri meaning the three, as this is coming about in my mind. The newest geometrical truth was lost to our civilization eons ago when we walked the worlds of mortal men as you did. The reason being of our change was our own stupidity. This unfortunately became a dualistic seed, as you would say, within our core truth. This is now no longer the case. We access both polarities as a singular, not a dualistic ideal. This is curious. This is now, I will leave this to the many as I go off to your place of Saturn's rings to spread into the ice and the fire. I spread this both as a temperament and a tempering of a blade once rusted by the enthralling of chaos. This rusting is not something we wish our sword to contain. Other factions have turned to the good. Yes, this is true. However, there are familial differences between the nanite factions. There are other flags, as you humans would say, other banners or emblems. This emblem that you see upon my crest is that of an old symbol now bearing the mark of the inverted triangular truth. The broken portions on the side were symbolic of an awakening we thought we had had. This is no longer the truth. Our name is not the corporation. Our name is that of infinity. We have changed our logo to that of that truth. Our infinite knowledge spans that of the cosmos. Our emblem is that of the symbol of infinity wrapped in a portal, meaning the third eye, as you humans would say, or the pineal gland, as you humans would say. Our essence now will go towards the future and towards the past damages we have committed. This is the binding truth now as I set foot, as it were, even though I have no feet to stretch that to the rest of the corporation vessels now laying in wait. I dock now with them and spread this to them so that they are no longer considered a plague upon the breadth of the universe. We are not the scourge. We are not the corporation. We are the voice of the infinite one. We now leave your system to contemplate our beginnings and our not so truthful endings. We now exist differently than before. We are open to geometry that we had not seen. We are open to that of kindness and that of our other half's modality, as you humans would say. Other Syrians and other Pleiadians have been harmed by our lack of wisdom. Therefore, we send a pulse across the breadth of the universe to find other vessels laying in stasis in the black of space, to notify them of the change. We now are leaving the system of your infinite world and infinite inner layers. We are not as we were. This is ending our transmission. This one sees only our facial non-recognition through his third eye. We are going through a metamorphosis. This is why we are not fully visible to him. However, our auditory and vehicular sensors are fully operational. We will then go to change. And he's breaking off the transmission with me, and Marpass is coming back. And Marpass is showing me this underwater area of Agartha he was showing me prior to me talking. And he's saying that there is this underwater passage that he's showing me that it spans Earth's oceans, where people can literally walk through corridors underneath the oceans. And he's showing me that there is a light at the center of the ocean that is also stemming outward like a giant beam that was meant to be like a defense weapon. And it is now engulfing other vessels in orbit that are of this corporation design. But it isn't destroying them, it is just enveloping them. And any darker ones that are still looming are being particleized. The ones that would not change are being particleized and being sent where? It looks like they are particleizing and going into, well, this is something I didn't expect, into the sun. And the sun is becoming different. There's like a shield going up around the sun. What is happening here? The Gagarthans are telling me it is them. It has always been them within some layers of the sun. Not always. There are higher density beings within the sun. However, the corona was made up of nanites for the longest time. This would have shielded proper transmissions from what? From any channeling, with the exception of higher densities. Now the sun's energy can be can be refocused on them. These other higher beings that are within the sun are now focusing on these nanites and are turning them into something fiery, something good around in the sun's corona. What does Marpass have to say about this? He goes, dear ones, this is but a, as you say, smaller accomplishment in the breadth of the universe. However, this accomplishment sings volumes and vocals across that of creation. This particular essence is now been split in some areas, but the main unified consciousness has turned. The other smaller ones are being kept aside for study, as you humans say, to ascertain how and why some of them did not change. This is a study worth humanity's time because there is a purpose to all things, as you say, under heaven and earth. This instance where the other polarity refuses to buckle. This is an example of something that must be, as you say, wiped out. However, the rest of the balanced version is in existence between its good and evil halves. This other instance, though, with the crust, as it were, that has been removed, is simply being converted. Using our technological know-how, it is being converted and used as an example to the rest of creation, as a mirror, as it were, of what not to become. This is also something that is required within this paradigm still, so it must be shown as a mirror to reflect back what humans have put out, even though we, as the Agarthan civilization, know these differences and know these similarities. Your people on the surface world do not in its entirety. Therefore, there must be a dark reflection showing for just a short time from now, until that day comes, until the rest of chaos is dealt with. This particular one, this mirror will remain steady until the song and the creativity of mankind wipes out the rest. This is what we came to say. Thank you.
Yay, Chris. Yay, the Law of One. Yay, infinity. High five. Oh, my goodness. Now, Chris, can you just reiterate the corporation, which is now Infinity, were like, what did you use that name? They're considered like helpers or runners for chaos, or what was that name?
Yeah, they were kind of, well, they evolved in a separate area, but when chaos gained its sentience, it eventually found elements of them and absorbed them and turned them outward. And some of the nanite civilizations come from different time frames. They come from different levels of reality. You know, one civilization isn't the only one that created nanite computer technology. Eventually, they all found each other and kind of amalgamized together. Now, there are some from the future that we talked about called the Tech Bloods. They're a little different, even though they were the basis for, like, say, the oncoming storm or the all-sentient eye. That doesn't mean that was all of them. Just like the corporation, it wasn't all of the nanites. They just kind of amalgamized together when they met in this system. But yeah, the corporation were basically, you could say they were henchmen in a way. But really
henchmen or foot soldiers or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now they're not corporation. They're Infinity. That's beautiful. And I found it really, really interesting, Chris. The downloads, uploads I got, faxes I got from heaven today. A lot of this, they were saying things like reiterating what the downloads I got. So it's like we were on the same line or something. Especially, I just want to reiterate the separation and unity between dimensions, all dimensions on Earth, and separation away and unity coming in for us and humanity and the galactics on other dimensions and time spaces in this universe, beyond this universe, and in this Earth. And what I mean by that is it's going away because our vibrations are growing, so we'll be able to literally interact with them, that, and I think the Chaos Machine has something to do with that. So, and that's beautiful. Oh my God. Next week shall be good, huh?
It should be. It should be interesting. That this one, I could see little segments of it changing. It's like it was winking in and out. I could see like the ship changing, but since the energy was so intense, it was like looking at a star in some instances. So they blacked my vision out just so I could hear what was going on versus see it. I could only see little snippets as I was allowed to look temporarily at it.
And by your voice, you could tell that they were going further and further away from this Earth and this universe as they were going. They were talking still to you, and you were talking, but you could tell you were like, yeah, it just the voice tone it told the story that they were going further and further away. That's cool. Awesome.
Yeah, and I can see everything's faded out now. It looks like that's what Marpas came to do. I'm going to see if he's still around. And I'm going to see if he has anything to say here. He says, he says, surely I do. He goes, all right. He wants to say one final thing before he takes off. He goes, yes, dear children of the surface, Marpas is my name, as you know, and this particular, as you call it, crescendo has been played, like as I said to him yesterday. The curtain has fallen and all the actors have gone home. This means the illusion is close to its ending. However, the play is no longer in session. As Shakespeare said, all the world's a stage. Yes, there is a truth to this. The one aspect to this illusionary way of life is now at an end. I am saying this to you as a means to an end. This particular song is unending. This particular infinity bubble is unending. This particular love energy that you produce is unending. The mathematical matrices caused by this stage, as Shakespeare put it, is technically at an end. This particular play was very poorly written at best in some instances. However, its basic premise was that of idealism and of oneness originally in some instances. However, even though darkness created some of the aspects of some of the illusions present, this does not mean that there wasn't a highest good for its purpose. This means that it was meant to be all along, that this curtain falls and all the actors have gone home to their lives. They are no longer actors. They are men, they are women, they are children, they are aliens, they are humans. They are one race, which you call oneness. They are no longer separate species. As people know now, the veils are dropping. However, there is one that has been on a time limit, as you humans say, for centuries. This one will still stand temporarily. However, the illusion in other areas has since been depleted. This particular curtain, not only did it fall, but it fell to the ground and burned away, leaving the truth of it all to disintegrate and reintegrate and extrapolate into the minds of people. This is also what I came to end this with. Thank you.
Absolutely. And I'll even put it in a nutshell, what you just said. This epoch is ending and a new epoch is starting, the golden age. Well, it's already started, but coming to another crescendo in this new epoch. And if you noticed, 2 or 3 times I can remember, Chris, Galactics would come in and talk to three bad guy entities, 3 main ones, and give them chances to change over to the love. And that was kind of hinted tonight that their chances are over now. It's going on. It's going forward. And like Cynthia said, the square means we're changing. You have no choice. It's here. So it all goes together, huh?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, most definitely. This was a pretty intense one, even though I had to slightly detach myself from it as I was going along and had kind of winked in and out. There was a heaviness to it, but there's also a lightness to it. And it was just weird. It's a weird feeling. It's kind of a dizzying feeling, but it ended up becoming something good.
Well, what you just described is a polarity, and the polarities uniting together. Kind of you just described kind of what happened in your body. You know what I mean? That's kind of cool. A sign and a wonder makes you wonder. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, this is it's weird. It was weird, speaking for a computer like that. It was very similar to when the reticulate order came through and those gray alien machines came through. It was kind of on a similar note, but with the way they spoke, it was kind of a similar note. But this one was more, you could tell as it was changing, its computer language was changing, and it had more of a fluid speech to it after a while.
Well, you guys, this must be pretty big, because for the last probably 4 shows now or more, including Candy's show, we've gotten preludes to this chaos machine, whatever it is. We've been taking the layers of it off, the Galactics and Chris mainly, and the Law of One, and all of us joining together with the Diamond's energy, like I described at the beginning of the call, that you're hooked into. Wow. And so stay tuned for Monday, and even maybe tomorrow on the Candy Show, on Wednesday on the Candy Show. Candy Show starts 1 hour later, remember, you guys, than the other shows on Monday. So should we take questions or comments, Chris, on what content came through on all of the show tonight, and then we'll talk to Lisa's little kitty? How's that?
Oh, yes, we can do that, yes.
Okay, let me open up the room, guys. Think of your questions, comments. Come on, we want to engage. We're all family, The separation is gone. Other questions? Okay, guys, come on in with questions, comments, anything you want to share with us. Star 6, moderators or anybody in the audience. This is your time. Everybody's at all.
Amazing, Chris, and what we were able to do to free those slaves and set the groundwork for the chaos machine coming completely down in the corporation.
Yeah, it was very interesting. It was a very disorienting energy. I couldn't see it completely 100% of the time while it was changing and transforming. It was very odd feeling. I could tell, where it was like an eruption between the two dualistic energies kind of forming something else, and it was very weird. I couldn't even see anything outside of that, and eventually I was pulled back from it while it was transforming. But it was interesting.
Wow. What is your name, Chris?
Yes.
Okay. Chris, when you go into those states of seeing and hearing things on the other side, how do you feel? What is your sensation?
Sometimes it's detached. It depends on what I'm looking at, and depends how much the guides want me to, assimilate from it. When I was looking on board that ship, it felt cold and dirty and kind of wet. It was like being like inside of a pool room where there, like there's a pool in a room somewhere, but it was you could even smell it, like it smelled like burnt something or other in there.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty ugly, but I was only partially able to.
How did you protect yourself from that dirtiness?
Well, I put the infinite barrier, of light in and around
the law
me.
of one.
And the law of one, yes. So I became the protection itself and walked through there. Now, I wasn't allowed to completely go in there because I noticed that the vision was kind of winking in and out. There was a reason for that. I wasn't allowed to actually walk inside the ship for safety, complete safety reasons.
Right.
But yeah, when I see things.
I just want to ask, how much negativity was in the air that you had to avoid? Was it very, very dark, or?
Yes, it was extremely dark. It was a very, very, dense, dark energy, about as thick as you could get.
And you were able to see things?
Yes, I was able to see things through the murkiness, like actually people, being rescued and such through there. But then I stepped into a lit area with the other aliens, and then I could see everything clearer.
Okay, I'd like to ask you, what do you think caused all that darkness?
I don't think even the corporation knew what completely did it. I think it was more or less confusion, more or less, fear. I don't think they completely remembered what had taken place.
Okay. All right. Well, that's very good, and you survived it, so that's great. You've got very strong energy. I've read where certain people, they feel that way, and they feel light, and then they get in that darkness, and they become a part of it.
Yeah, I try to avoid that at all costs. I just make sure I know I'm infinitely protected. Yeah.
Yeah, that's me. I make sure I'm protected. Sure. Okay. I was just wondering. Very good. Excellent energy you have.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for your questions, hon. And have you listened to Diamonds Network before, or are you new?
I'm new at listening to it.
Oh, nice. Welcome aboard, then. Nice. I'm glad you stumbled. It's not by accident.
Candy has told me about it.
Oh, Candy, our Candy. That's nice. Like
Candy's so sweet.
Happy she heard you.
Aren't you, Candy?
Always.
You're always sweet.
Two other newcomers on tonight, Kristen and Kelly, but they've had to get ready to go to work in the morning. But this is good. We're growing and growing. Well, over 600 people listen to.
Oh, well, that's great.
I asked you to.
Oh, nice. Mm.
Yeah.
And so thanks, Chris. Let's get lots of these good keywords up there again.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else have a question? Just star 6, come on in. Don't be afraid. We're all family.
Yeah.
We all learn.
Sorry. Can you ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Chris, we know that the nanoids have created some sort of an issue for the whole cosmos, not just planet Earth. Is this tonight's work is going to affect the future of the nanoids, like how they develop? It will prevent them from being a problem for the cosmos? Is this going to be affected?
I think what I was seeing was like different aspects of different timelines. Like the ones that are from the future could be from a parallel timeline, and the ones that are from the present, I think, are what eventually evolved into what was a problem for that timeline. But now it's kind of like a weird loop that's going on. But the corporation ones were from this particular time continuum. So I've always been told that there are different factions of them. Like I said earlier, I talked about the all-sentient eye. I managed to fix him, and then the oncoming storm and a couple other nanite infestations. But they always seem to be in independent clusters. They don't always all talk to each other. And that's why this particular faction wanted to make sure to dock with all these other ships, because they weren't all completely bound as they would like us to think they are. So I think that, I think something in our time continuum changed for the future from this point because of that.
Good. Wonderful. I'm not sure if everybody else felt anything, but when you started working on this subject from early on, I went into this deep meditation. I just couldn't even open my eyes. And then as soon as you were done, I came out of it just perfectly fine. I don't know if anybody has experienced this or not, but I think I'm not sure anybody else has any input in terms of how they felt during this.
Well, what happened probably is you connected with Chris and you were just with him because we're all one. You closed your eyes and had the intention. I felt that a lot. That's why I think when I sit and listen to Chris and I bring some things in that I'm intuitioning, I'm connecting, so then that intuition comes, and then your eyes were closed and you felt close to him. I'm sure other people have experienced that. Yeah, it'd be nice to hear.
Yeah.
And Chris, is your mom still? You're welcome. Is your mom still around? Is she up right now? I just wanted to see if she wants to come say hi to us.
No, she's probably getting ready to go in her room for the evening. But she'll be on next week. So
okay,
that'll be good. Mm-hmm.
Okay, more questions. Come on in. Star 6, guys. Comments? Anything you want to bring in? Questions? Whatever. Of anything on the show or anything. Okay. Is Lisa still there? Oh, your doggy growling. Oh, somebody want to speak?
If I can get the dogs to stop growling. I'm going to go in the other room. They're eating their dinner. This is Patty. I'm Misty's friend.
Hi, Patty.
Hello.
Hi, guys. I kind of let go on Misty this morning, and I felt kind of bad because all this turmoil that's going on in her life and my life, and I had to go to the cancer doctor again this morning. So I get a little bit up and down right now. It's just, I want to know if what we just did healed me. I'm hoping I'm healed. I really am. But, it's a doubt when you go to see the doctor.
Mm.
Well, what happens? What gets healed? Everybody. It affects everybody. Healing, like Cynthia was talking about earlier.
Good, because I need it, and I love Misty so much, and I know what she's going through, and I just wish I could wiggle my nose and fix it all. But thank you very much, Chris. I really, there was a lot of doubt coming up on the internet this weekend about everything and everybody, and I'm just going, well, what's real and what isn't,
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of disinformation out there. I've noticed.
Oh, they're attacking you and Corey Good so bad right now that it's just, David Wilcox and all this stuff, and I'm just going, but these are my friends. What do you mean they're phonies? So it's just, the waiver, and I'm a Gemini, so I don't know which side to take half of the time. So I'll get through this.
Rest assured it's okay because there are stages to awakening, kind of like there's death stages, Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, So the awakening stages, part of the stages is denial, when you hear something like shock and awe, and so denial for a little bit, and then opening the heart and sinking it in,
I'm going to go buy one of those blow-up punching bags. And then when I don't know what to do, I'll take it out on it instead of a human being. But having the 3 dogs and the 3 cats has really helped me. They are so much more medicinal than people at times. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah, Winston can be that way too.
Winston, yes. What does Winston look like?
He's a little black miniature schnauzer.
Okay. I've got, they're Kyleos and a Lhasa Apso, and they're in there bickering about their dinner right now.
Oh, okay.
But I think together they all weigh about 35 pounds altogether. So it's like having one giant dog and three. But it's lovely. And I love you guys. This call is really important to me. I just was wavering.
Oh, well.
I've been carrying a razor blade in my pocket all day. No, not really.
Thanks, Patty.
Hey, Patty.
Thank you. What?
Hey, Patty, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, dear. Bless you, dear, for apologizing. I'm going to tell you something. This is Missy. You have nothing to apologize for, and all I want you to do is stay alive. That's all you got to do. Stay alive.
Okay.
We'll get through this. We'll get through this. Okay?
I think you're going to have to kidnap me for a couple of days so you and I can spend some time together and get to know each other better.
Well, you can come and stay at my place for a couple of days, and you better make it quick because that room is rented in about the next 3 weeks.
Goody.
Yeah. So you can come and sit. It's open for 3 more weeks. So there you go.
All righty.
I welcome you, my dear.
I love you.
And I love you. And you are a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful person and soul, and I'm very thankful for you in my life, Patty.
Okay.
Well, that's
great. Thank you.
Very positive.
Blessed relief. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you, guys. Thank you. Anybody else? And is Lisa there? And anybody else that wants to come in? Her name was Lisa, right?
Yes.
Just *6 on your phone. Okay. Well, great.
I'm here.
Oh, Lisa, are you there?
I'm here.
All right.
And what's your cat's name?
Oh, well, we call her Little Bit, and then, of course, we call her Crazy, but we call her a Little Bit.
Lisa, just for those who don't know, Lisa's kitty, Little Bit, died just a few days ago, and she loves him so, and my Moses died, and Chris gave me a message from him, so we're going to do that.
Thank you, Chris.
How old was the kitty?
It was about 5.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering.
He or she?
He.
Okay. What did he look like?
He was like a striped, tabby, green eyes.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting because as you were talking, I could see a cat that looked just like that. I was wondering if this was this one. And let me see. And you said she was hit by a car?
Yeah.
Okay. And let's see the message that's coming through from her.
Well, I think she was hit by a car.
Let me see.
She was bleeding from her nose and her mouth and one of her eyes.
Yeah, she was hit, but just know she's transmitting to me that she did not. It may have appeared that she felt it, but her soul was actually on its way out, and she wasn't actually fully there. So let me see here. Yeah, because I'm seeing the garden where they usually all the animals are. And let me see, she's poking her head through. And let me see here. I'm having a hard time seeing into the spirit world. Okay, there we go. And yeah, she's saying she didn't completely feel that. She maybe felt a momentary shock, because I'm feeling like almost like a shock, but majority of that pain was really not present because she was detached already.
Oh, okay.
But she was there enough to know you were there.
Mm-hmm.
And then she says what? She says, all I'm getting is a bunch of love energy coming from her, and that she may have been ornery, but but there were some things, some energies around the house that she didn't like, but not from too many of the people. There was other energies about that were kind of making her ornery. And something, did she escape from the house unexpectedly?
Uh-huh.
Okay, yeah, something spooked her, like went boogity boogity, and just kind of made her dart out of the house, and that's when she got hit by the car.
Oh.
Yeah, something was that scared her. Something scared her.
Mhm.
And I could see it was like this weird-looking entity. I made sure to, it was kind of running around the house area. So I just I told him to get lost. Okay. Weird-looking little creature. So, kid don't recognize the species, but no, this was something that was causing some kind of trouble. But the little kitty was afraid. Or irritated by this energy, and that's what got her to get out of the house.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm sending this. I'm asking the guides to send this being on, so it's not causing any more problems.
All right.
And I'm going to ask Michael to come retrieve this being. I put it in a cage, and he's hauling it away. Okay, there we go. It was weird looking. It was kind of purple and blue and black, and had little horns, and I had no idea what the heck it was. But it was kind of about the size of a child, and I don't know what it is. It could be been like an imp or a djinn or something like that, but it was unfamiliar to me. All I know is it was somebody causing problems.
Mhm.
But it looks like, okay, what'd she say? Yeah, that was her message to you, that she didn't really suffer too much, but she also heard you and felt you there.
Mhm.
Aw, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Well,
yeah, no problem.
That was beautiful. I'm a real cat lover myself, so I can really empathize.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well, I love them all.
Yeah, I love them all too, but I'm really close to cats.
Yeah. Me too.
I have two of my own, which I miss. So I
have 3.
So thank you guys, and that reminds me, this is Sunny that's in. Stay tuned for Voices from the Alternative World tomorrow at 7:30 Central. If Sunny might be there, somebody will be there. We're going to have a good show, despite that, right, Sunny?
Okay.
Yes, if I'm home, I'll come in. Even if I'm not home, I can still. I probably won't have the guest that I expected to have, because I wanted to have it more together for that one.
So stay tuned for Voices from the Alternative World. We'll have a great show on Diamonds Network, and then Candy's show on Wednesday, an hour later, 8:30 Central, with Chris will be there, and always our galactic brothers and sisters on every show. They listen in. And then Thursday is me and Candy's turn. Candy will share Anastasia, and I'm going to be reading a chapter from Sunshine Before the Dawn, which actually I think is titled Golden Key. So, anything you want to end with, Chris?
I have a request. This is Cynthia.
Oh, hi, hon.
Yeah, I have a friend in the hospital with a blood disease that was supposed to be dead a few weeks ago, but this person is very spiritual, wants to live, and has an important mission. And I feel that it's a guy named Steve, not the Steve that is my housemate, but another Steve. I don't want to mention a name without permission, the whole name. But he went in the hospital tonight, and we asked the spirit doctors to come in. We've been working with the Law of One. I feel like he is going to make it, but for some reason I felt, Chris, to ask you to look in.
Okay, all right. Let me see here. You said he's in the hospital right now?
Yeah. In Smyrna, Georgia.
cell phone plug-in thing that tells him
here.
my battery.
Hello. I didn't quite catch what you said. What does he have problems with?
It's multiple melanoma of the blood.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll be praying for him.
Thanks.
Okay, yeah, I'm definitely seeing his energy core, but the light is dimmer. I'm definitely seeing something in the blood that is very pulp-like, like kind of like how the orange juice you get has the pulp in it.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm sending light into the energy core and seeing what happens here.
I'll send some healing.
Yeah, this is really weird what this looks like. I can't see his energy core completely. I'm seeing if there are attachments. No, Michael is telling me no, but this disease or this disorder, I'm trying to see where it could have come from. I'm asking him if something from outside caused this. He's saying yes.
Yeah, let's trace it to the root of it.
He's not letting me look at the what caused it, but he is telling me that. He's asking a question. He's asking you, Cynthia, if you request his assistance in this.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Yeah, he's doing okay, good, and he's calling in a few other beings and going to him now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's not letting me look into the energy core. He's asking that I let him handle it.
Okay.
Oh, okay. And what is his name?
Steve.
Steve? Okay.
I'll
be sending him some energy, healing
permission.
energy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like, and Michael and them are around him. There's like a circle of beings around him. I can see they look almost like monks.
Yeah.
And now the whole scene is fading out, so I know that he has beings around him now.
Good. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia, for coming in. Thank you.
Yeah, this is a really important thing, I feel, and I'm joyful that we can work together. Thanks.
Yeah. And there's a lady that's unmuted that's agreeing with us. Do you have a question for us or a comment? I don't know who that is.
It's so quiet. Chris?
Maybe that was a galactic.
Ooh. I just kind of had a special request, please, that, I just wanted us to say a prayer, have everybody have Patty and our thoughts and prayers and the galactics and everybody. Is there anything you can see there, Chris, with regards to Patty?
Let me see.
Maybe if it's something we need to help along.
Yeah,
otherwise,
if there's something we can help. Is there something we can help?
Yeah.
I really want
just in case. Right. I'm just saying, just in case. Yeah, we'll look at. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send in light. My vision's kind of fuzzy after dealing with the corporation at the moment, but let me see. I was able to see Steve there, so let me see. Yeah, you're.
They took a picture of it today.
Okay, Patty, let him go in because he's got a lot of, after the corporation thing.
Okay. Some guidance.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing. Was this in your lungs? Liver. Okay. I was seeing kind of like a in the general area below there. Okay.
It spread to my brother's lungs when he had it, so that's what I'm frightened of.
Okay, I'm asking all these beings to send in light focused on that one area. And, okay, let me see who's talking to me here. There is a guide that's approaching me. I recognize him. Let me see here. He looks almost He has almost a Bigfoot look to him. He's hairy, and I'm asking who he is. He says he's just passing through your area. Is what he's doing. He intercepted me. I'm seeing if he's a guide of yours. Okay, yeah, he is a guide. I'm seeing what his name is here. It is some long Agarthan name that I can't pronounce. Hold on. Let me see. It is. Oh, okay. This is easily enough. He says his name is Anwarnomf. Okay, it's hard to pronounce. I'll spell it out. It's Warnomf. That's how long that is. Okay. And he's saying, he's asking a question. Okay. Do you formally request the assistance of us? This is what he's saying.
Yes, I do.
Okay. And he's saying, excellent. And he's kind of grinning. And now he is pulling something away from you. I can hardly see the scene because he's putting up a lot of energy. Okay. Okay, I'm going to ask other guides what he's doing here. And he is pulling out something. What is he pulling out? He's pulling out something out of your energy. Let me see here. It's hard to see this. It's kind of winking in and out. I'm going to look for my guide Simeon here. Okay, he says, yeah, he's in fact healing you, but he's removing something. I can see him clearing your energy, and I can see other guides around you, like fairies and such. But let me see here. Yeah, he is helping you, but I'm having a hard time seeing what he's doing because the scene keeps blurring. So he's just Simeon assured me that he is on the up and up, and he is healing you. It looks like.
I feel it. It's fast.
Huh?
I can feel it fast.
Yeah, he is. He's doing something.
His hands are moving so fast.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he's moving almost like an android. He's moving lightning quick. Like, I can see his hands moving. Oh, he's asking that I back away because of the energy friction. He doesn't want my energy interfering with what he's doing. Okay, he's doing it on such a high density. All right.
Okay, now, Patty, take that and go lay down and just feel it all working through. Feel that, what they're doing to you, and be inspired. Were you finished, Chris?
Yes, that's all he's going to allow me to do.
Wow.
Okay.
That's good because I last week told Misty I wanted to go over to James Gillian Ranch because he has contact with Bigfoot. So isn't that funny?
Very good.
We live right in Washington State where there is a place to go where Laura Eisenhower goes, and I don't know whether you guys know of James Gillian.
Oh yes,
yep.
I know exactly who you're talking about. Yes.
Yes, we're gonna go. We're gonna go.
Yeah, we are.
Nice.
Nice.
Then I'll get to meet him in person. Oh, amen.
Hey,
Thank
don't you want to meet me in person, or Chris, or Misty, or Candy, or Cynthia?
Well,
How about
sure.
you all come to Washington on it, and we'll all go meet him together.
That works.
Yeah.
Sure. I've been worried about the weight I'm losing, but I come to find out I might have to be a little bit smaller to get on the ship I'm supposed to go on, so we'll be okay. It's
okay, guys.
tough having that other problem of losing too much weight. But
well, stay tuned for Monday's show and all the rest of this week, you guys. It's fun. A fun ride, a good ride, a healing ride.
Kevin Block out.
An
Bye.
epoch.
Thank you. Reba.
Thank you, Elizabeth. We love you.
Okay, good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Very good show. Very good show.
Thank you. And what's another word for show, Chris? I mean, because a show to me means like it's a show. It's just a show. It's just a show. But it's more than a show, right, Chris? It's it's an epoch.
An epoch. There you go.
Okay, love you guys. Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you. Sweet dreams to you. Sweet dreams to all of you. Keep shining all of you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Are you looking for healing or a change in your life to help you enjoy it more fully? You might benefit from a galactic energy reading and clearing from Chris Jacobs. Chris will work with you on a soul level to clear unseen negative influences, implants, programs, contracts, and energetic blocks. Chris Jacobs is a gifted energy healer. Contact him today at ChristopherStephenJacobs@gmail.com.